Hi everyone, I'm Adrian, one of the kids leaders here at Freedom. Hope you're all having a good time today. It's really nice to be able to do this, something to do. And this is Kim. We're glad to be here with you. Hope you are well. Why don't you just drop some comments down the bottom and let us know where you are, what you're doing, if anyone's watching with you.
And we have some packs, these packs here, that hopefully you would have found on your doorstep this week. If you didn't, drop us a comment right now so we can make sure you get one so that we can follow it up. But inside these packs, the first things you will find is a letter to your parents explaining the pack, as well as some colouring in sheets and some activities.
Alright, now there's some books in here that are not chocolate, but they're really good, and if you know someone else who might be bored, you can find that there's actually another one in here, most of it. And this is also not the chocolate, but you can give a second book to someone else who might want something to do. So if you know someone, it's a freebie, and we'll chuck those back in there.
Also in your packs you will find these cards. Now these cards are for today's lesson. So if you haven't already, why don't you start cutting them up so that during the lesson there'll be a part later on where you'll use these as a family. So these are for the lesson coming up shortly.
There's definitely some chocolate in here. So. And some random good stuff that's going to be in there. So that'll be lots of fun.
And there's one more thing in here. In here you'll find, oh, he's gone off to eat the chocolates. In here you'll find some chalk, and we want you to chalk your sidewalk. You may have seen lately that a lot of people are leaving encouraging messages on their sidewalk, and we want to join in on the fun. So you can leave a message about Easter, maybe you want to tell your neighbourhood that Jesus is alive, or you just want to write an encouraging message like we're all in this together. There's so many things that you could do, but we would love to see some photos of what you are doing with your chalk as you chalk your sidewalk. So keep us updated with what you're doing. You found the chocolate.
Have you ever thought about how difficult it can be to get ready for something? Like getting ready for school in the morning. You have to wake up super early, rush to eat breakfast, brush your teeth. Oh, and don't forget your backpack. There's always so much to do, with so many people expecting you to do it all just right. It's hard to believe, but Jesus knows exactly how we feel in times like these. There were a lot of things God sent to Jesus to do as a part of his perfect plan to show his love for us. The week leading up to Jesus' death, there were a lot of things that needed to be done to prepare his friends and followers for what was about to happen. The first thing Jesus had to do was make his way to Jerusalem. He came to the city and asked his followers to go get a donkey. Jesus rode the donkey into the city, and when the people saw him coming, they recognized that Jesus was a king. They waved palm branches and laid their coats on the ground to make a path for him. The people believed that Jesus had come to save them. So they shouted, "Hosanna!" which means, "Save us!" One night that week, Jesus sat down with his disciples to have a special meal to remember God's love for each one of them. He knew it would be the last supper they would share before he went back to heaven. Jesus thanked God for the bread, he broke it and gave it to his disciples. Then Jesus thanked God for the cup. Everyone ate and drank with Jesus. The disciples took their time because they enjoyed being with Jesus. Later, Jesus got up from the table, wrapped a towel around his waist, and filled a bowl with water. He bent down and did something the disciples did not expect. He began to wash their dirty feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. When it was Peter's turn, he felt like it was wrong and said, "Lord, you will never wash my feet." Jesus explained to Peter that by washing his feet, he was showing that he loved him and that he was a part of his people. When Peter heard that great news, he said, "Lord, after you wash my feet, wash my hands and my head too." When Jesus finished washing his disciples' feet, he went back to sit at the table with them. He asked, "Do you understand what I have done for you?" They listened as he explained that he washed their feet as an example of the love he wanted them to show others. We may not have to wash the feet of everyone we know, but we can show love in the way we do what our mom or dad asks, or the way we listen to our teacher at school. One of the best ways we show love is in the way we treat our friends. Knowing that Jesus came to show his love makes us happy to show his love to others.
Alright everybody, Adrian's about to read us a story, and if you remember, you had those sheets in your pack earlier on, and hopefully you've had a chance to cut them up. And so what we're going to do is, as he reads the story, I want you to listen out, and as he says the words that are on your card, I want you to line them up in front of you.
It might be tricky. We'll see who can do it. Alright, here we go. Story. There are lots of things God sent Jesus to do as part of his perfect plan to show his love for us. The week before Jesus died, there were many things that needed to be done to prepare his followers for what was about to happen. The first thing Jesus had to do was go to Jerusalem. He went to the city and asked his followers to go get a donkey. Jesus rode the donkey into the city, and when the crowd saw him coming, they recognized that Jesus was a king. They waved palm branches and laid their coats on the ground to make a path for him. People believed that Jesus had come to save them, so they shouted, "Hosanna," which means save us. One night that week, Jesus sat down with his disciples to have a fresh feast, to remember God's love for each one of them. Jesus knew it would be the Last Supper they would share before he went back to heaven. Jesus thanked God for the bread. He broke it and gave it to his disciples to eat. Then Jesus thanked God for the cup. Everyone ate and drank with Jesus. The disciples took their time because they enjoyed being with Jesus. Later, Jesus got up from the table, wrapped a towel around his waist, and filled a bowl with water. He bent down and did something the disciples did not expect. He began to wash their dirty feet and dried them with the towel that was wrapped around him. When it was Peter's turn, he felt like it was wrong to let Jesus, God's special son, wash his feet. So he said, "Lord, you will never wash my feet." Jesus explained to Peter that by washing his feet, he was showing that he loved Peter. When Peter heard that great news, he said, "Lord, after you wash my feet, wash my hands and head too." When Jesus was done washing his disciples' feet, he went back to sit at the table with them. He asked them, "Do you understand what I have done for you?" They listened as he explained that he had washed their feet as an example of love. He wanted to show to others. We may not have to wash the feet of everyone we know, but there are lots of ways we can show love to others. We can show love by doing what our mum and dad ask us, or by listening to our teachers at school. One of the best ways we show love is by being kind to our friends. Knowing that Jesus came to show us his love makes us happy to show his love to others.
How did you go? There were some really close together ones there that you had to be really quick on, but we hope you managed to get all your pictures together and recreate that story. And so to finish off today's lesson, we're going to have our memory verse. But before we share the memory verse, we know that Easter is a great time to have a bit of fun and be creative. And chocolate, yes. But you can be creative, and you might want to do an Easter craft or a drawing or some sort of activity. You might want to make hot cross buns. You might want to paint some Easter eggs. Watch out, Adrian likes to eat hot cross buns. I know we're socially isolated, but he will smell them from here. But what we want to encourage you is to get creative and to do something with this week's memory verse. And then we have a prize, this great prize, for the most creative craft of Easter craft that demonstrates our memory verse. And today's memory verse is...
He is not here, he is risen, just as he said he would. Matthew 28:6.
Can you repeat that as well with us? Let's say it again.
He is not here, he is risen, just as he said he would. Matthew 28:6.
Alright guys, so we look forward to seeing your creative videos and pictures. Send us in and show us what you've done. And on Easter Monday, we will reveal who is the lucky winner of this prize. And it's not going to be Adrian. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Keep an eye on our Facebook page for some updates on how you can keep yourself entertained through these times when we're stuck at home. See ya!
is life.